We're engaged. If you click on this video, you can tell by the title.
Yep.
He finally, no, I'm just kidding. We have been together for a long time now, and now we're engaged. We wanted to just make this video kind of announcing that we're engaged. If you follow me on Instagram or anything else, then you already know this.
Not like you haven't seen it already.
But if you didn't know, then now you know. But yeah, we just wanted to make this video to kind of talk about our engagement and I guess the proposal that you put together and our relationship to this point.
Like a story.
But yeah, I'm an engaged woman. You're an engaged man.
You're my fiance.
Yeah, it's been weird getting used to saying that because I feel like I still keep saying my boyfriend, or like I think of him as like my boyfriend, but fiance, it's gonna take a little while to get used to. But I feel like I end up just texting him too and I'm like, we're engaged. The sun is also like pretty much setting in this video, so sorry if it gets pretty dark. We'll try and do it before the sun actually sets. I just can't stop going like this. I like forget it's there and then I look at it and I'm like, and I also posted a video of the proposal on my Instagram, Twitter, everything. So if you haven't seen that, you can go watch it on my Instagram. I would put it in this video, but it has a song over it, so it's gonna get copyrighted. So you can talk about what your plan was and what you did. It was on my birthday. You proposed on my birthday. Then the night after dinner, so.
Honestly, it wasn't much of a plan.
How?
It kind of just, I was just waiting for it to happen. Like I prepared myself, obviously.
Well, like you knew what day.
I knew about when, but it was never like a plan. Like I need this to happen, we're doing this, we're going this place. It's kind of just like go with the flow. Yeah, so my official plan started at the beginning of the year. So I think I asked her parents first. I think it was around March. And then from there, I went to her sister and husband.
Yeah, she's married.
Her sister and husband. I went to them next and told them what the idea was.
Well, then your parents, obviously, before the any of that, right?
Yeah, I told their parents. They were eating dinner out back. So I interrupted their dinner to tell them what my idea was. And that's where it kind of kick-started, even though it got delayed for another, 6 months?
Yeah, well, because you didn't think, you said you were going to do it like around graduation.
Yeah, my first thoughts was going to try to do it either before graduation or right after graduation.
And I graduated in May. Well, I didn't actually graduate because of everything. We didn't walk or have an actual ceremony.
So that kind of shut
So that's what threw it off. I guess he wanted to do it around then, and I just didn't. I never, like, I graduated, but not like in person. We didn't have anything, so.
Because actually, my sister's was supposed to get married in April, so I was going to try my hardest to get engaged to her.
To your sister?
No, to you in April.
Because we were going on a trip to Colorado for her wedding, so.
Yeah.
It was so hard because I know he, like, both of us wanted both of our families to be there, and his parents live in North Carolina. So I kept predicting that it was going to happen in October because that's when his sister's wedding got rescheduled for, and we were all going to be in the same place at the same time. So I was like, the only logical thing is to do it then when we're all together.
Yeah, I was going to do it in April up in Colorado before my sister's wedding, so I wouldn't steal, like.
Yeah, I didn't want him to steal her spotlight.
Yeah, that was my only worry, but that didn't happen.
It got canceled anyways. And then you said after graduation got canceled, I was going to still have like a graduation party at my parents' new house, but the building of their house got delayed. If you see
their
my
house got delayed,
everything just
got
keeps getting
delayed
pushed
again.
back and canceled. So
no.
Then I guess you came up with my birthday.
Yeah, I figured that would be the best choice because we were all going out to dinner, getting dressed up a little bit, going to a nice restaurant.
I always kind of predicted that it might happen then too, because before I even made a plan for my birthday, my mom kind of like, she didn't give it away, but she had me start thinking about it. Like, I didn't think about my birthday at all. And then one day my mom was like, oh, like, do you want to go out to dinner, maybe like on the beach, and we can take some family pictures, because I want them for the new house.
Me and Nick came up with the idea, like, oh, you really like the beach, like, try to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell her mom to like get together a plan to go to the beach on her birthday, go to dinner. But then she kind of made it obvious by throwing.
Well,
pictures.
She didn't make it obvious, but yeah, once she was like, oh, I want to take some new pictures for the house, like I'm gonna get them printed, and I was like, my mom never suggests something like that, so then that made me just think like, is that what you're implying, that like, because I know I always wanted, I mean, he would try and make it be documented, and that's an easy way to be like, oh, we're taking family pictures. That I feel like that a lot of proposals happen that way, but. So I kind of had that in my mind, but then it totally left my mind after a while because I was like, no, October is the only thing that makes sense.
You've been back and forth.
I mean, it was,
it's obvious because like there's nothing to do anymore, so when we go out and do something.
I was always ready for like any big-ish event, but we haven't been going anywhere. So my birthday was the first big thing that we really ever have done since everything happened. And I mean, we like openly talked about it, like we've talked about it for years, but recently I'll just straight up tell him, I'm like, so it's gonna be my birthday, right? Because I was just having these like ideas that like maybe that was gonna happen, or I'd joke with him about it being during the trip in October. And I mean, of course, he wouldn't tell me, but I would have my own assumptions. But
overall, I think it was pretty successful for me because when we got there, she still had no idea. She wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, as much
she
as
was convinced that it was going to be in October.
Yeah, because I really didn't. I mean, like I keep saying, I thought maybe, but then like really once the day came, I was not thinking about it whatsoever, so I was completely caught off guard. And the thing is, it was actually funny. I went to lunch with my mom and my sister the day before just to keep celebrating my birthday. We went to lunch and got like our nails done, and I don't know, I've just been having this weird feeling all day that like maybe it was gonna happen on my birthday the next day. And so I literally was sitting at lunch with my mom and sister, and now I know that apparently I like freaked them out because I was like, I guess I just brought it up. I was like, you know, I always thought maybe I'd get married or I'd get engaged on my birthday, but now that it's here, I'm like kind of freaking out. Like thinking about it actually happening, I was like, what if he actually doesn't? And like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like even though we've been together for so long, like to think it's actually happening was just weird.
It was almost like such a last minute thing that I told my parents only like 2 weeks before that I was going to do it on her birthday, and they just got back from a trip, so they were trying to figure out like how they can come down. They want to be down here for this because they're up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So they want to make it down here.
And that's what sent me over the edge because
Yeah,
after I had
to tell her. Like I think it was the day before I told her,
yeah,
oh, my parents are coming down.
It was literally the night turning into my birthday, like for Saturday night. My birthday was on Sunday, and so, well, that's what I was saying. Is after at lunch, I was already telling my mom and sister. I was like, I'm kind of freaking out. Like I feel weird. Like I think it might actually happen now that it's here. And apparently, I worried them because they were like, why are you saying this? Like, do you not want to marry him? Like, are you been together forever? Are you having doubts? And I was like, no. It's weird to think like that it could possibly be happening. So yeah, and then that night we were hanging out at my sister's house, and then I literally started crying when you did this. He was like, yeah, so
I was like, so my parents told me this morning that they're coming down.
Yeah.
Because it's like a last minute thing. My mom had to come down here for the dentist.
He did end up saying the dentist thing, but at first he was just like, oh, I found out from my parents this morning that they're actually coming down. And then for me, I sat there and I was like,
I tried so hard, like I was convinced that
trying to make it like casual.
I wasn't gonna tell her they were coming. I was gonna try to like make my parents stay out of sight until it happened. But
you know,
I knew that wasn't going to work, so I just had to tell her.
But he was actually able to cover it up with the dentist thing because his mom had been talking about.
She's been trying.
Yeah, because she still goes to the dentist down here, and she had been telling me, she was like, oh, I have to go see my dentist. She's been telling me for months. So once he said that, I was actually convinced, and I was like, oh, she's really just coming down here for the dentist because she's been talking about it. But
I was like, it's a last minute thing.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
this at first when you told me, you didn't say anything about the dentist, and just the words that my parents decided to come down, and everything
crying.
I had been feeling.
At that moment, I knew it was like, I was like, oh.
I literally just burst into tears because I mean, I wasn't
it's
even
so
sad.
Obvious.
I was just like emotional already from thinking about it maybe happening, and then when he said that, I just automatically thought in my head, okay, yeah, it's happening. And I just started crying, and everyone's like, why are you crying? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't even sad. I was just overwhelmed with emotions.
And I knew. I gave it away. And I knew as soon as I told her my parents were coming, it gave it away.
It did for a second. It made me think that.
I had a good cover up overall.
Yeah, it really made me forget about it. After you told me that, I was like, okay, then it's still happening in October.
I was like, it's the only dentist appointment she can get in the next 6 months. And it was
so
available this week.
It was believable because I knew she was trying to go for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was almost like it happened then. Like once you said that, I was like, oh my god, I'm engaged right now. Even though it wasn't, like that's how I felt. Again, I wasn't like sad about it. I was just like, I don't like growing up. And that's like such a grown up thing to do. I mean, what happened after that? We ended up, everything was fine the next day on my birthday. I had no idea. I wasn't thinking about it at all anymore. I really switched back to October. I was like, it's not happening until our trip. And then we
went out shopping and stuff. It was her birthday, so we were trying to find something to do.
Yeah.
I had a little shopping spree for you. Happy birthday! I didn't really get anything for you.
Well, that's why I kind of joked. He told me, he was like, okay, go spend like whatever, get whatever you want for your birthday. And I felt bad. I was like, no, I don't want you to like buy my clothes. Like it's fine. But then I was like, so does this mean you didn't get me anything else? Like, is this my gift? And he was kind of like, yeah. And I mean, I was just joking, but ultimately I got.
Yeah, I couldn't say like, yeah, I have a gift for you, but most expensive birthday present, I would say.
But the best birthday present.
Yeah.
After we went shopping, again, I was still like clueless, and then we went back and got ready for dinner, and it was honestly like a terrible experience going to dinner because it was pouring rain. They only had outdoor seating, so it was right on the beach. So we knew there was kind of a chance of rain. It was like sprinkling when we first got there, and we first started taking pictures down on the beach because those were like the family pictures my mom was talking about. And later I found that he was going to do it then. Like, weren't you going to do it
Yeah, I was
Our
gonna
first set of
do it
pictures.
like when we first got there, like first set of pictures before we ate dinner.
Yeah.
But then
Because we had to wait for like an hour for the table, so.
But then all of a sudden a tropical storm came
Yeah.
through, unexpectedly just popped over us, and
It was raining so it was terrible. I literally started crying at some point too, because I mean it was fine at first. I was like annoyed that we took a few pictures and then we had to run out of the rain and then we were just kind of under the cover, but it was all kind of fine. But I kept like it wasn't going away.
I could tell like her family was like waiting for me to do it at first, and I just didn't feel right. Like it was cloudy, the pictures were ugly,
Yeah.
everything was just.
And I still
haze.
didn't notice. I didn't even notice he was like anyone was paying attention. I was just like, okay, we're taking pictures. But once we waited for
I couldn't do it.
We waited for a little bit for the table, and the rain was not letting up at all. And then eventually, I'm trying to think, it kind of started, like the sunset was starting to happen, and the rain finally kind of cleared. But they went to go seat us at a table, and everyone was just like everywhere. They were trying to put tables together for us, and they couldn't like lay out the tables correctly because there were so many of us, and it was just a lot. And it was still kind of raining, and I just felt very upset and overwhelmed, and I was like sad. Oh yeah, and I was mostly upset because I felt like I was like disappointing everyone else. Like even though it was my birthday, like I felt like the host. Like it was my idea to go to dinner, it was my idea to go there, and it ended up being terrible with all the rain and everything. And so finally we sat down to eat, and I was just like over it. We got a few good pictures, and I was like, I don't even want to take anymore. I had put my hair up at that point. It was gross outside, and he kept being like, oh, do you want to keep? Because we didn't get any with his parents, and so I knew we wanted to go back down and take some more. But he was so adamant about it. He was like, do you want to go take some more? And I was like, okay, but like, wait a second. Because we were waiting for the sun to go down a little bit more so it wasn't so bright. And I was just, that made me think a little. I was like, why do you want to go take pictures so bad? But eventually, we got back up to go down and take some more. And the sunset was literally so pretty. After it rained, like, you know, when like the rain clears and the sun, especially at the beach, it's even a prettier sunset than before. And actually, when we first walked down, I didn't get a picture of it because I got taken away to take pictures with you, and that's when it happened. But there was literally a full rainbow, like completely like from one end to the other, right above, not like on the side of the water, but like across. So I was literally staring at that. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I tried to take a picture, and then that's when they called me over and they were like, take some with John, because like my mom didn't get, she wanted like couples ones too. Well, I think at first we ended up taking the ones with your parents, and then my mom was like, okay, no, you get with John. And whenever I imagined it, like in the past, like thinking about it in the future, I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna know, I'm gonna be aware, like the second anyone is like, go take a picture with John, it's gonna click in my head and I'm gonna be like, okay, it's about to happen. But I promise, like I literally had no idea, and I was not thinking that way at all.
I could tell, like she was not.
I was
like,
not with it. Like I was so all over the
tell.
place. I was very shocked because I kept telling myself, I'm like, I'm gonna know, and I used to tell myself, I'm like, I'm not even gonna cry because I'm gonna be so ready, and I'm good at figuring things out. So I knew that I was gonna like foil his plan before it happened, but I didn't. You did a good job.
Yeah.
We go to start taking our pictures together, and again, I literally had no idea. And then we took a couple, and then I start to walk away. And I didn't even notice this until he told me after, and I watched the video. I start to walk away, and he pulls me back. And like in the moment, I was just like, okay, we'll take a few more. Like I don't get how I didn't know.
Yeah, I pulled you back, and I was like, wait, there's a couple more.
Even then, I like didn't put it together. I don't know how. I think I was just like not there mentally. And so at that point, we took a couple more, and then I kid you not, I felt his chest like going like this, and he was like kind of breathing hard. And I look at him, like I turn and I look at him, and I say, I'm like, why are you breathing so hard? I said that to you, and then you looked back at me, and then like once he started looking at me, I like then I knew.
Yeah, I knew I had to do it right then.
That was like
she figured it out.
Yeah, because
I couldn't hold it anymore.
Your chest was gonna explode, and so once I looked at him and said those words, he looked back at me, and I literally said back to you, I said, I know why you're breathing so hard. That's what I responded. I said, I know why you're breathing so hard, and then he got down and did it.
I think
right
about
after
all
that.
the time.
What, how it happened?
Yeah, how you said that, like I know why you're breathing so hard.
I know, it was actually funny. I always replay that too.
That's in my memory.
Because that's the last thing I remember, and then after that, like people say you literally just black out when it's happening, but it's true. Like
I blacked out most of it, but I remember that part just because it
was
it
right
got me
before.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the last thing I remembered, and then you were just doing it, and I was like, is this happening? And then I literally started bawling the second I saw him.
It's like you've been together for so long. 6 years we've been together. You think before it happens, you're ready for it.
Yeah,
nothing's
I thought it was
gonna
gonna be
happen.
no big deal.
You're not gonna be nervous. It's just another thing. But I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, it was crazy.
Yeah, the same thing with me. Like I said, I didn't think I was gonna cry. I was like, I'm gonna be so prepared. And the second I knew what was happening, it was like literally like just tears would not stop coming out my eyes.
She started crying right away.
Right away. It was instant, and I never thought that would happen to me. I mean, but I cry on everything, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Then it happened, and I guess you said the only thing I remember him saying was something about, I'm gonna love you forever, or I want to love you, or how much he loves me. I don't even remember him even saying, will you marry me? But apparently it happened at some point because I said yes in the video.
Yes, very loudly.
It's kind of embarrassing, but I was like wailing and crying at that point, and I was like, yes! Like you'll see it in the video. But yeah, I don't remember having, I don't know if I just said yes because I knew what was happening and you're supposed to
asked the question.
I don't remember hearing it. It probably happened, but I can't remember anything. It's literally like a blackout. Like I don't remember it at all. Yeah, then it happened, and even then, like, I didn't even feel, I knew everyone was watching us and taking pictures, and I could hear the camera clicking and stuff, but it felt like I was literally just there, like, with you, like, by ourselves, which was nice.
That was great.
I always, like, wondered, I was like, I didn't know if I ever wanted to be proposed to, like, alone, so it would be, like, you know, like, more cute and intimate, but I'm, like, so close to my family that I'm glad everyone was there, and in the moment, it didn't even feel like, it felt like we were,
I didn't know your grandparents were going to be there, so that was pretty
cool.
when
Mimi and Poppy were able to come, like, last minute, I guess, kind of. I mean, I think my mom told them what was happening.
Yeah, supposedly they knew about it.
He didn't even know that my mom...
grandparents knew.
Yeah, my mom had told them, like, a week ago. We ended up finding out, but it was actually funny. We were on the way there, and I was riding with my parents to meet him at his house here. My Poppy called on the phone, and it, like, goes through my parents' car. And then my dad was scared that he was going to ruin it or say something about it. So my dad's like trying to turn the car off. Like he's trying to turn off the phone and hang it up. And I kind of thought, like, why was he so scared to have him like talk through the phone? But I still didn't put it together. There was even people on the beach and still at the restaurant like watching us. And
there's some people walking around like yelling, "Hey, congratulations!"
See, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
and it's so weird because like when I see someone get engaged, like when I watch a proposal,
everybody wants to watch.
I'm staring and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And I didn't even think there's so many people watching us.
There wasn't a lot. I mean, there was probably.
Well, once I finally looked around, I was like, wait, because I think Mimi said like, there's people watching you, and I like looked and they were up on the thing. It was just.
And then the restaurant we were at, I guess, you know, they were nice enough to bring a bottle of like champagne.
Oh yeah.
And that was unexpected. So,
yeah, our waiter came down.
You could tell they were watching and willing to give it to us. So.
It was so special.
Yeah.
It was like perfect.
They came down and gave everybody a glass, and we all cheered and toasted, and it was great.
It was, yeah, it really couldn't have been more perfect. And like I keep saying, it was so bad at first. Like I was so upset. It was terrible, so much rain. And then once that passed, like it literally played out perfectly because the sunset was perfect. It was in my perfect,
sunset was beautiful.
My favorite spot. I've really never seen a sunset that good in like a long time, and I really was caught off guard. As much as it doesn't seem like I would have been, like it seems so obvious, but I had no idea.
And a little funny thing was when we were there, like it was raining. We were waiting for our table. There was this lady.
Oh my God.
And her husband talking to us, and she was dressed in all white.
This
lady was like, you know, gone. She was wasted.
She was sitting, and then I was just taking pictures because like it was my birthday, and I was wearing a white dress, and that's what she said. Oh yeah, are you a bride? Because I didn't know the white, and you're taking pictures. I was like, no, it's just my birthday. And she was
I'm walking by like, not yet.
Yeah, and I still had no idea. And then after it happened, I was like, oh my God, we have to tell that lady.
Yeah, we walked back up.
She was still there with her husband, but she was even more gone at that point. She was sitting there, and he was like rubbing her shoulder.
Yeah, she went up to her ear and probably scared her, and she's like, look who's a bride now, and showed her the ring.
Yeah,
this lady like flailed, and like she got up and like fell over her chair. That was crazy.
That's exactly what I said. I went up and I was
I'll remember that forever. That was a highlight.
It was really funny because I mean I normally wouldn't say anything, I guess.
No,
but I was like so excited.
We were walking back and I was like, maybe you should tell her now.
Yeah, so I walked up. I said, hey, remember you asked me if I was a bride? Now I am.
Yeah.
And then she literally fell out of her chair, like onto the floor. Like her husband had to pick her up.
Yeah.
And then she was so happy and screaming, and she was like, take a picture of us. Like,
yeah, took a picture, and the guy couldn't. He was gone too, so he didn't even take a picture.
He took a video instead of a picture. And
he
then,
got my number and sent it to me, and it was the worst
so
quality
bad.
in the world.
But
so we can't even see our faces.
We can still tell what it is though, because
we'll still have it.
It's a really funny memory for sure.
Yep.
And then after that we all went and sat back down and ate food. I couldn't even eat after that. Like I was so hungry and I love to eat food, and I had no appetite after that. I was like, how am I gonna eat my dinner? I thought that we would talk a little bit about just like a relationship, but this is already like so long. So I don't know.
We met 6 years ago. We were in high school. We're high school sweethearts.
Yeah,
we went through college together.
We've done it all.
We've done a lot. We've gone on vacations. We've done everything together. We're meant to be. And then now we're engaged. So.
Yeah.
There you go. That's our story.
Yeah, a little over 6 years, which I feel like I mean, that's a normal-ish amount of time. I know a lot of people get engaged sooner than that, but it's because we met so young. Like, I was literally 15. I was 15 through 16. Yeah, so since we met so young, we had to go through life before we could get to the age of what's appropriate to be engaged.
I didn't want to rush it. Like, I wanted to take our time. I wanted to
And
do
we're the
things.
first of our friends and, like, age group to get engaged.
She finished college, and I finished college, so...
I always thought at first, I was like, oh, I would love to be engaged like around the time I graduate. Like, I've just always thought that. And then that's what I was telling my mom and sister the day before. I was like, I always thought around graduation, but like now if I picture myself engaged like in May, then that's weird and like way too soon. And that's when they started freaking out. They were like, what do you mean? But I thought I wasn't ready, but obviously I was very ready because it's been a long time coming and I'm ready to start our life.
Worth the wait.
Yeah.